All right, so what's up, guys? So we are out here on another run, out here doing this craziness for all you guys to simply, sit back, watch, and enjoy, right? As we torture ourselves, right? Try to prove our bodies, and in particular, our legs, right? Because that's something that so many people neglect, right? The old phrase of skipping leg day, right? Never skip it, right? Because you see so many people that have these big upper bodies, right? When you look at them, right? Because the first thing you probably see is their face, and you look down and they have huge arms and probably a huge chest, if you can see it. And you keep looking down and you notice, there is a problem there, right? It looks almost like an anomaly, like a whole different person is standing in front of you, right? A whole different level of fitness. And that's what it comes down to, right? Between their legs and their upper body. So in order to combat this common issue, we are gonna give you 4 workout tips to make your legs bigger, right? Something we take pride in. I take huge pride in my huge legs, right? I love them. So happy that we have them, right? Because they are the supporting mechanism, right? They help us stand upright. They help us run faster and simply go about our day, right? Mobilize. And beyond having a car, right? How are you going to transport yourself, right? Through your legs. So in regards to tip number 1, workout tip number 1 for your legs, is that it's more important the volume, right? Because so many people want to do these huge and heavy workouts and get tired and simply have to rest a bunch of days. And when it comes down to legs, think about it. Our legs, like we mentioned before, are designed to support our body, right? Pretty much, I wouldn't say like every minute, but almost every hour, you're probably going to be using your legs somehow, some way. Definitely every day. And by that virtue, right, it's not as crucial as our arms, right? Even though our arms allow us to reach things, grab things, and push things, but our legs essentially keep us upright. So we need them. We need to work them out a lot, because your body is gonna know, if you're just working it out every once in a while, that it's not natural, right? It's not gonna want to get used to it, because that muscle is bigger, it's harder than the other muscle, right? It's huge if you can get it there. It's designed to be like that, because always it's going to be supporting that weight, right? So essentially what you got to do is try to work it out every day, or at little every other day. Anything less than that, is too little, right? Because your legs are simply built to be hit over and over again, because you're stepping, you're walking, you're moving, you're supporting yourself. It's always pushing against the earth that you are standing on. So you have to get it used to pushing more, more heavy loads more often. Okay, that's what it boils down to. So essentially do that, right? Expand, the ability of your legs to push beyond your body weight, and you will see, improvements as long as you keep it on a regular level. So consider that as far as making your legs bigger. And in regards to tip number 2, workout tip number 2 in regards to working out your legs, making them bigger, is to go slow, right? Because we'll say this: muscles like the calves, abs, forearms, those types of muscles, and the calves are located on the legs, so you already know those muscles are meant to hit fast, right? They're smaller groups, right? They're more of a different set of twitch fibers that activate. And essentially your legs are these big bulky materials, right? Big bulky I say, like strings being pulled, rubber bands expanding, right? That's what you want to boil it down to. And you know, essentially you have to go slow and focus on them, right? Really tax them, right? Because it's not necessarily made, you know, to get these quick rapid movements. Instead, going slow is going to build that huge muscle, getting you huge quads, right, and so forth. And when you're on the leg press, when you're on the what do you call it, squat, do it slow, right? Really focus, you know, what it is that you're doing, right? Those muscles contracting, and what you're gonna start to see is that muscle is gonna get tired, right? Because you're making it more similar to an actual movement, right? The actual, you know, job that it has to do, which is to support your body, but it's meant, you know, to keep you up for hours and hours, right? Not just a quick, you know, 5-second push, right? So by that virtue, you have to keep it exposed, you know, to those harmful elements, right? Those shocking environments of that huge weight against it for longer periods of time, and only from then are you gonna see those drastic improvements in your legs. So that's something that we do when we're doing leg press. We even hold our hand, you know, on our belly, on our knee, and we make sure, you know, that our knee, you know, hits it, right? It's going all the way back and also all the way forward, right? As deep as we can go with our squats and our leg presses. So that's another tip. And tip number 3, regards to, you know, making legs bigger, is to know and differentiate between the different styles, you know, of running, right? We want to group it all into running. And when a lot of people think of running, it's just jogging, but you know, it spans into sprinting, and you could even possibly label walking and speed walking into that category, because if you're jogging, you're probably going to be walking as well, right? If you get tired, if you're doing something really long, it's okay. But realize that by every workout, you're doing something completely different. And when you're jogging, you essentially are cutting the muscle, right? And that's okay, right? Because not everyone wants to have the biggest, hugest legs, right? Because you're burning the calories of, you know, essentially by running over and over again, repeatedly staying out there and burning that weight, which is good, right? If you want to look nice and lean, right? You want to cut. And, you know, essentially, if your goal is to get bigger legs, you want to avoid that, or push it aside, or slow down on it for a little bit and focus more, you know, on faster speeds, right? Doing sprints, doing quick stairs, because those exercises of more high intensity, right, shorter time frames, are really going to make those muscles get big, right, to handle the extreme amount of pressure. But because if you are putting that pressure for a long time, your leg muscles are going to do the opposite. They're going to want to shrink and make it easier by having less muscle present, right? And that's okay, but because it strengthens your cardio and other things that are great, makes you have longer endurance. But ultimately, by realizing that factor, right, of what it is that you're doing, jogging, sprinting, and you also want to think about walking as a more extreme version of jogging, right? And, you know, essentially is going to help you cut that way, but slower and longer, right? It might even be probably more enjoyable for more people, right? Walking to the park and etc. So just consider, you know, which running movement you are doing, and you are going to be on your way to building your leg muscle, getting it bigger. And, you know, essentially tip number 4 in regards to, you know, getting your legs nice and big is obviously to do, you know, the weights, right? Do the lunges, and you know, essentially build them, right? Build them from the dumbbells, because just like you would do a bicep curl, right? You can work out your legs. There's even specific movements, right? It goes beyond the standard leg extension. And how do you call that? The reverse curl of your legs, right? To work out your hamstrings. You essentially can do the abductor and adductor, right? To make your leg muscles really pop and stand out, right? Such a neglected exercise, right? The sideways movement. And you know, essentially by you applying these extra methods, right, these proven muscle building techniques, right, through the weight room, you're essentially going to be on your way to bigger and stronger legs, right? An aspect of pride for many, I know for me. So really think about that and consider that. And you know, we hope you enjoyed this video. I say thank you. Goodbye.